Good morning you guys and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. My name is Kayla, aka the girl who knots, and welcome to like a little crochet Q&A video. I did do a video not that long ago, I think when I introduced Forrest, my new little puppy, and in that video I answered any questions that you guys had. But for this video is a already curated 10 questions that are part of this like crochet creator tag, which thank you so much to my girl Hey It's Mel B who tagged me to answer these questions for you guys. If you saw that video, some of these questions are kind of answered in that video, but I'm just going to, you know, maybe try and talk more about it or try and answer a bit differently. So without further ado, let's answer these little crochet questions. I have the questions on my phone, so if I'm looking at it, that is why. And what we will be working on while we talk, trying to work on, but we'll probably get distracted yapping the whole time, is a dragon tail. This sounds so random, and it definitely is, but I'm actually in the middle of a pattern test at the moment, and I don't really have anything else that I am working on at the moment that is like, I don't need to focus on it heaps hard. What am I trying to say? So I'm in the middle of doing a pattern test for KP Creations, which is a dragon. Sneak peek, this is the little head. How cute is it? It is of course a Fury pattern, so I'm using Banat Blanket, and I am making the white dragon first, Light Fury, I believe its name is. And I'm going to crochet the tail while we talk. So I've got my handy dandy hook, and let's answer some questions, shall we? The first question is, how did I learn to crochet? The answer to this is pretty simple. I learned off YouTube. I learned right where you are right now. I don't really remember like how I got into crochet, but I can't count my magic ring. But I purely learnt from YouTube. Any stitch I didn't know, I YouTubed it. Literally, I learnt by watching a bee tutorial on YouTube, and a bee was the very first thing that I ever made. I always recommend to people to learn off YouTube. I didn't really have anyone in my life that crocheted that I could have learnt off, and I always learn things off YouTube. Even if it's not crochet, I am just always learning the most random things off YouTube tutorials. It's honestly like such a handy tool if you want to learn a new hobby, or you're not sure how to do something. YouTube's got your back, so purely from YouTube. The next question is, what is my favorite thing to crochet? But my favorite thing to ever crochet ever, I would probably this sounds a bit biased, but I would probably have to say dragons, just because it is like the thing other than frogs, but frogs are so small and like a lot more simple than the dragon patterns I have made. Dragons have to be the one thing that I have made so many times. I have used so many different patterns and made different colors and, you know, things like that. And I just always love how a dragon turns out. There are so many different patterns for dragons, and I love that. There's so many different details that people make, and it's just really fun. I feel like I love customizing dragons as well. And even though most dragons take a lot of sewing, it's just so worth it for all the details that create this really unique dragon. So I would have to say dragons on that one. A little bit biased to what I'm making right now. The next question is, if you could only use one yarn for the rest of your life, what yarn would it be? If you've seen any of my videos, you know that I am a massive advocate for Zaddyscraft's really good Chenille and Patti and Bango's place Patti's Plush. I am trying to flip this dragon tail inside out, outside in. I don't really know. It's proving difficult. But it's because I genuinely love those yarns. I would honestly pick a Chenille yarn. It's my favorite yarn to use. So I would definitely use theirs. If I was to use that type of chenille. But honestly, I've also been really enjoying this banat blanket. This white color is so soft, and I'm just loving the way that it works up, and I love how big everything turns out. So definitely chenille. I've never been a worsted weight girly. I don't really honestly see myself ever becoming a worsted weight girly, but never say never. Number 4 is the weirdest thing that I've ever crocheted. I really wish I had a fun answer for this. This made me realize that I have like not made anything that weird before. I have a pattern for a toad that has a booty, and that would have been probably the weirdest thing I've crocheted if I actually made it, but I haven't, so I can't say that. What have I made that's weird? See, weird is so hard. I don't think I've made that many weird things. I honestly haven't really made anything weird. I guess like the most unusual thing, I guess, would probably be Ghostface, but that's not weird. That's just like very random. And it was purely for Halloween so that I could have a crochet version of him. So they could sit together, but then I sold him. But I'll have to make another one maybe one day. It took a long time, so maybe not, but I really need to make something weird now because I don't think I've made anything that weird. Sorry, ew, boring. Something you'll never crochet. Ooh. I want to say a blanket, but I really want to make one. I just don't know if I have the attention span to last that many rounds. I've seen like yarn that, this is so random, but I've seen yarn that you use to make like scourers. Is that what you call them like universally? Like the scrubby things that you use in the kitchen for like pots and pans and stuff. I've seen that sort of yarn and I've always looked at it and been like, no thanks. But like I would love to make like tea towels and things like that. I just don't think I would make a scourer or a scrubby mat. If that makes any sense. Such a big advocate of never say never that I don't know. See, I would probably say micro crochet I would never do, but that's not because I wouldn't want to. That's because I don't think I have the eyesight for it. So I don't think I ever could do it, as much as I think it is so cool and I love to see people's micro creations, but I don't think I could personally get away with making it, or I would try and it would just like make my eyes 20 times worse than they already are. Where do I get my inspiration? A million times it's off social media, mostly Instagram. I like to just like even go through the discovery page and find new things or just grab a bit of inspiration from there. But also, you know, you guys inspire me all the time. I will sometimes get tagged in things and I get inspiration from that. It's mainly from what people create, and if it's not from people's creations, sometimes I even just go on Etsy to look at patterns and see if there's anything on there that's new that I want to make as well. My feet are going to sleep. Oh, now I'm so short. Let me just pull you down a little bit. But yes, if I had to say somewhere, I would say mostly Instagram. What is my favorite thing I have made this year? Now, this one's a little bit difficult because I have my Gengar pattern. Where are you? He's up here somewhere. I have this little guy that I designed very recently and is probably my favorite pattern that I have ever made. So he is definitely like my favorite thing I have ever designed ever, let alone this year. But if I had to say like plushie wise, I would probably have to say the Winnie the Pooh set that I just did for a custom order. If you haven't seen, it is a video on my channel where I crocheted every Winnie the Pooh character other than the owl and other than the gopher. I got eaten alive by people that know Winnie the Pooh and were pretty upset that I didn't make the owl. I'm sorry. I thought that Winnie the Pooh and 8 friends would be all of his friends, but apparently not. But having made so many characters and seeing them all together just like made me so happy. It was so cute and just knowing that that was going to a new family, and it even just brought back memories of my childhood making those characters. It was just very special and I loved how they turned out. This is going to be one long tail. Crochet plans that I'm excited about for the future. Great question. I'd have to say what I'm excited about at the moment is that I actually have markets finally coming up, but not just like any market. I have my big convention style markets coming up at the end of the year. If you've been following me since last year, you know that I did a couple of gaming conventions last year, but unfortunately, I haven't been able to do any this year yet. One of the conventions decided that they weren't going to be on this year, so that left them out, and then they are having one in July, but I am going to a wedding, so I won't be able to be there. But I will be doing OzCon in August. I think it's the 9th to the 10th, which I'm really excited about because I didn't do OzCon last year. And then Gamma, who were the ones that weren't doing any conventions this year, have recently announced that they will be doing one in September, the first week of September. So I am actually in the middle of deciding whether I go and have a little like booth or if I just bite the bullet and do a big booth and just risk if I sell out at OzCon having 1 month to prep a bunch of things for Gamma. I don't know. But I'm so excited to get back into conventions. I've missed them so much. And then I believe at the end of November, I should have geek markets, which I am so excited for as well. I just love my conventions so much. They were the highlight of my year last year, and I was so sad that I couldn't do any at the start of this year, but that is about to change. And yeah, I just love making different characters, and it's just such a fun vibe. If you've never done like a gaming style convention, it's the only types of conventions I've done. I would highly recommend doing them. The crowd is just so fun. I've had repeat customers from them. I have met some of you guys from them. It is literally just the best vibe. Everyone just is so nice, and I have not had an issue at any of them. Like, they are just so fun and well worth the money. Half the time I'm not even worried about making my table fee back. It is just such a fun time that I just want to be there so that I can experience it. What is the worst thing about crochet? This is like so easy for me, and that is the physical toll it takes on my body. I love crochet to death, but it does not love my hands. It has been the first week of winter here in Canberra, and I have already had swollen fingers twice now. I'm starting to think that my tendinitis doesn't even just set off from me crocheting, because I barely crocheted lately, but it just sets off in the cold now. However, I never got tendinitis before crocheting, so it does really suck because it is my job and it is very stressful when my hands don't cooperate and they just swell and get really sore and inflamed. And I don't even push it. Like, I pushed it last year, which got me the tendinitis in the first place. So originally it was my fault, but now it just seems that if it's cold at all and I crochet at all, my hands are just so much more, susceptible to inflaming and getting, very upset at me. I just wish that I could crochet non-stop and it not affect my wrists and my hands, honestly. That would be a godsend. What is my favorite thing about crochet? There's honestly too many things, but I'll do it from like 2 different aspects. So my first thing that I love about crochet is the plushies that you end up with. Like, I just love having this creature or whatever it may be, and you can sit there and be like, I made this. It's so cool to see people get excited by the things that you make, or if someone has a pet or something that they love and they ask you to make a little plushie for them to, look like that pet or whatever it may be. I feel like that is just one of the most wholesome things that I could do with crochet, and it honestly just makes me so happy, and it just means a lot to me, and that's what crochet can do. It's just so special to be able to give handmade gifts to people. The other thing I love about crochet is this community. I wouldn't have this community if I never picked up a crochet hook in my life, and it has genuinely brought me so much happiness having new crochet friends that I literally never would have met ever if it wasn't for crochet and this online community that we have built. And it's just so fun to see what everyone else makes and inspiring each other and just chatting, giving tips. It's just such a fun community, and it wouldn't be there if it wasn't for crochet. That's all 10 questions, and now we have a bonus little question that is my favorite thing about being a crochet content creator and my least favorite thing about being a creator as well. We will do the worst things, because I do remember something I mentioned in the other video, which was my inability, I would say, to juggle so many social media platforms at the same time. I'm not good at it. My brain just doesn't really compute when it's like, you know, okay, you've got a reel to post on Instagram. You also have to put it over on YouTube, TikTok, and, you know, Threads. I almost forgot what it was called, and Facebook. Then you also have to post this many times a week on Instagram, blah, 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 TikTok, whatever it may be, Facebook, all of those. My brain gets so overwhelmed so quickly with that it makes it really hard for me to focus on all of the platforms plus make YouTube videos at the same time. I do need to be a better planner for things. I am still trying to work out a system that works best for me to remember all my schedules. At the moment, it's literally all just in my brain. And I feel like I do a fairly good job with me just remembering everything. I do the same with custom orders. I don't write things down. I just have them in my brain, and then I wonder why I'm always forgetting things. But as I said, I do a pretty good job at not forgetting things at the same time. I always do eventually remember, whether it's a couple days or a couple weeks later. But I know I said that in my other video, so I kind of wanted to think of something that I didn't talk about, which I would have to say I did see Mel mention this at the end of her video, and I did want to talk about it, and that is comparing yourself to other creators. I feel like comparison is obviously not just in the creator space, it's in every part of life. Like, I have definitely always had that in my life, but I feel like when you're online and you're another creator, it is like so much easier to compare yourself to all the numbers, to, you know, you've been doing this as long as this person, but this person's doing so much better than you. I say better, but it's like, it's all numbers, and it's just really easy to get into that habit of always checking numbers and always looking at other people's numbers and comparing them to your own. However, I have become a bit better at just not looking at the numbers as much. Do I still look at them? Absolutely. I wouldn't say I'm really bad with it, but it does cross your mind sometimes of, this person's such a big creator, like what am I doing wrong, or what could I do to boost my engagement on this or that, or listening to people talk about the algorithm. I refuse to be an algorithm girly. I stress myself out enough trying to stick to a schedule with everything, like I mentioned, that an algorithm and trying to feed into the algorithm or play these games with it is way too much for me to have to focus on as well. So I don't really focus on that, but I know that comparison is super hard, but I do just remind myself, as you should be reminding yourself too, is that everyone's journey is different. If it was all the same, boy oh boy, would that be boring. And I feel like if you post things that you love and you are genuinely yourself, you will find the right community. And that's just the type of thing that I like to focus on. But at the end of the day, we are all different. what works for some people may not work for others, and I am just happy to steadily build my community because I love the community that we are building. But comparison online, it's always going to be a thing, unfortunately, and is probably the worst thing about being a content creator. Back to a positive note, my favorite thing about being a content creator, I know I just said it, but my community. I know you're sitting there saying, oh my God, Kayla's talking about us again. Oh my God, girlie is obsessed. But honestly, it is the community. It is so, so fun, and I never would have had it if I never picked up a camera and started filming me yapping all the time. It is my favorite thing and it will always be my favorite thing. But if I had to pick something else other than the cute little plushies I end up with and you guys, I would have to say probably the confidence that I have built from doing this as a job. I think I briefly mentioned this in my other questions video, but I was pretty heavily bullied in school about things like my voice and just being a more quiet person in general. And as much as I refuse to go watch my first video again, I just know that I am a completely different person when it comes to filming and editing as well, I guess, but mostly how I talk. Oh my God, how ironic. But just how much more comfortable I am on camera, and I'm still trying to build confidence when it comes to filming myself in front of other people, but you know, this hair is driving me mad. Where is it? Where are you? One thing at a time, but it is just night and day from how I was a year ago on camera versus how I am now. I just feel like I am a lot less robotic. I feel like when you start, you're so nervous that you're just sort of like, hi, my name is Kayla and this is my crochet channel. Whereas now I'm just a lot more relaxed in front of the camera. I know my style of editing now, so I don't hate listening to myself when I am editing my videos, which was a massive thing when I started this channel. I hated listening and watching myself, listening to and watching myself, I should say. I just found it so cringy, but now I'm like used to myself, which sounds so weird, but if you've ever filmed yourself and had to listen to it or edit it, you know what I'm talking about. If you are someone that is trying to do content creation, especially YouTube, or even I guess reels and things like that, but you're not a very big fan of your voice, or you find it uncomfortable being in front of the camera, I remember someone told me, which I think I did do when I started this channel, was filming yourself talking or whatever it is that you're wanting to do, not posting it, you don't have to post it, but just watching it back and just getting used to yourself that way. I used to just film myself just talking, whether it was just my intro or just literally sitting there being like, hey, my name is Kayla, and just doing that over and over and over again until I got more and more comfortable saying my name. It's a really useful way to start getting used to yourself and figuring out what you do like and what you don't like, and just being more comfortable and more fluent. And not that I'm the absolute advocate for being fluent in words, because I am stuffing up my words all the time, but just building that confidence in general on camera, I recommend. It works for me, but you'll figure out what works for you. It's all different for everybody. That's the joy of being a human. Oh, it's a delivery person. Do I have a delivery? I probably do. And with that question being answered, that is all of the questions for the creator tag. So I hope you guys have enjoyed with the dragon tail. This is where we got to, which I think is a pretty decent job. I only have a few rounds left, I think. So we have, you know, one of these guys. Wow, what a nice little dragon. Thank you guys for joining me in today's video and listening to me yap about more crochet, more content creating things. Did I just say that? Thank you again to Mel for tagging me in these questions for me to answer. Definitely go check her out if you haven't already. She's amazing. She's so sweet. She's an amazing creator and yarn store yarn store. Oh my gosh. Am I okay? Yarn store owner. Go check it out. She just restocked yesterday. There may be some left, but I would definitely go check it out if I were you, especially if you're Australian and Hobie did you dirty and is not shipping here anymore. Definitely go check out her yarn because it's amazing. She's amazing. So, mwah, mwah, mwah. All love. I hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful day or night wherever you are in this big wide world, and I hope I get to see you in the next video. Bye. Wow, you know I will carry you home. Sorry, Alex. Sorry.